Hi, everyone. I'm Carol Fleck, and on behalf of the Attitude team, I'm delighted to welcome you to today's ADHD experts presentation titled Creating Boundaries and Strategies for Highly Dependent Adult Children. Leading today's presentation is Natalia Aiza. She is a therapist who is dedicated to facilitating awareness and healing for individuals with OCD. She also works with mental health practitioners to improve their OCD competency to help patients. Natalia is the founder of Kairos Wellness Collective, which specializes in OCD and anxiety disorders. She is the author of Self-Guided Exposure and Response Prevention Therapy for OCD, and now has a second book coming out this fall titled Anxious to Launch: Empowered Parenting Skills to Nudge Your Adult Child Out of the Nest. Highly dependent adult children get stuck in a cycle of emotional and financial reliance on their parents. Many of these adult children are unemployed, not pursuing higher education, and living with their parents despite no physical, neurological, or intellectual disabilities. When their parents attempt to enforce boundaries or require more from their adult children, their explosive, guilt-inducing, or panicked reactions may cause parents to retreat. Many highly dependent adult children meet the criteria for ADHD, anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and other conditions, but they often resist treatment. This webinar is designed for parents and therapists who are seeking to enhance their understanding of highly dependent adult children and to help them thrive. You will leave with concrete and innovative solutions to overcome the dependency trap. We'd like to begin today's webinar by asking this poll question to our live audience. If your adult child is dependent on their parents, what might be the cause? Please provide your answer under the video player to tell us more. For answers to common webinar questions about slides, transcripts, and certificates of attendance, click on the FAQ tab of your webinar screen. The spring issue of Attitude Magazine is out now, and if you're not yet a subscriber, here's what you're missing. We reveal the true cost of ADHD care today for adults and for children based on what readers have told us in an exclusive survey. Plus, we have a collection of articles about autism, including what new research reveals, the prevalence of chronic pain in autistic children, and the risk of masking and burnout. And a doctor writes about why pediatric ADHD care is fragmented and how ADHD stimulant medication can protect against addiction and accidents. Also, in the summer issue that's coming out in May, we have a special issue that's all about men and ADHD, from vulnerability and shame and healing. Different generations talk about their journey and how they've overcome a lot of the criticism and negativity they received as a result of their ADHD. It's very inspiring and uplifting. If you're not yet a subscriber, visit attitudemag.com/subscribe or click the Subscribe Now tab on your screen. So without further ado, I'm so pleased to welcome Natalia Aiza. Sorry, I ruined that. Thank you for so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Carol. I'm so pumped to be here. I'm really excited to be speaking about this subject. As you can tell, kind of in my intro, I have a lot of experience with OCD and anxiety disorders. And actually, before that, I was a neurodiversity specialist, which is how I got connected with Attitude Magazine in the first place, as a person with ADHD, as a mother with ADHD, and as a therapeutic specialist. So full circle to be here. This is my second webinar with Attitude Mag. And without further ado, the objectives today. So I want to talk to you all about why parental training has strong outcomes for helping your highly dependent adult child launch. And I know it seems very strange to say parental training, your child is an adult, but actually this is the part of parenting, this is the chapter that we really get no guidance on. So I'm a big believer that this is a wonderful moment for parental training. Now, I also want you to leave here understanding the role that parents can play in either perpetuating or healing adult-child anxiety and adult-child stuckness. So, what we're going to be talking a lot about is the difference between accommodating parenting versus supportive parenting. And perhaps leaving here, you might decide that you want to learn more. And I will give you lots of resources, not just my upcoming book. There's some incredible practitioners doing cutting edge work on this sort of generation that is truly struggling to take those next steps into independence. So let's just start with knowing the difference between accommodating parenting and supportive parenting, because you're going to hear me reference it a lot. And just to make one thing really clear, in the world of neurodiversity, accommodation is a good thing. Obviously, we want accommodations for time and a half and testing, accommodations for sensory environments. But in this world, in the anxious to launch world, in the highly dependent adult-child world, accommodations are actually interfering. They're considered to be an interfering factor in your child launching and becoming independent. And here's how. So an accommodating parent is a concierge parent. So what do you need? What can I get you? How can I help? Versus a balanced parent that is more putting more faith in the adult child's ability to get things for themselves and begin the process of adulting. There's prevention of struggle, which is an accommodating parent move, I would say, versus normalizing struggle. So even when parenting adults, what we want to show them is that your struggle in launching is okay. Your struggle, in fact, in some ways is desirable because it's an indication of growth. And then an accommodating parent is more of a friend, which can be very confusing with adult parenting of an adult. It does feel more like a friendship of equals, but supportive parenting continues to acknowledge the fact that we do have power over, we do have a responsibility to guide and move our adult child forward more so than a friend might. And then, of course, accommodating parenting is more aligned with continued dependence versus a long-term healthy connection that is not based on dependence.